Hi everybody, this is Kevin with Gardening Gays. Wanted to first of all thank everybody who's been supporting us and our endeavors so far. As you may have noticed, we've had a huge explosion of support, especially on our Instagram page. We are well over our 100 followers mark, so thank you so much for continuing to follow us, share our page, and support our endeavors. Also, you may have seen that we finally were able to get our shirts in with this logo. Once again, we want to thank Leanne who helped to bring this to fruition, and we hope that you guys are liking our logo as much as we are. So wanted to bring you an update on our deck because we haven't done a deck video since we did the planters. So wanted to show you what we have now that everything is kind of cleared out. All of the starter trays that we had sitting here waiting with vegetables and flowers have now all been planted, that we're beyond some of those very unseasonably cold days that have passed. So we want to start first of all with kind of the trees that we have lining here. Flanking in the corners we have Emerald 1 Japanese maples. These are in planters right now, but if they were to be planted outside in the landscape, these would grow tall to about 10 to 15 feet high. But of course, anytime you put something in a container, you tend to control its size a little bit more. In the middle, between the two maples, we have golden emerald ARBORVITAE. When we saw these, we just absolutely kind of love this chartreuse color that these kind of turn into. Brings a little bit of light and life to the deck, and these actually kind of keep this beautiful hue year round. We bought both of these last year, and the Japanese maples, of course, while they lost their leaves during the winter time, they've kind of bounced back really vibrantly, put on a lot of new growth this year, so we're really excited just to see how those fill out, and also as they begin to change their color later on during the fall season. So since Dragon is already on this side, we'll start off with containers that we have here on the ground. And Coleus are absolutely some of our favorite plants to have. This is a Dusty Rusty that we have here. A lot of these we've trimmed back and have propagated a lot. They're very easy to propagate, which is why these are also too kind of bunched down. This is one of my favorite all-time Coleus. This is an electric lime Coleus. And then over here, another variety of Coleus that we have too.
Got the name of it.
Can't recall the name of that right now, but on the buckets in between those, we have planted Morning Glories, which will be a trailing flower. So eventually we'll tie something here and attach it to the privacy wall that we have on our deck, so that those Morning Glories, as they grow, will have a way to kind of climb, and hopefully by the end of season, this entire panel will be barely visible because it will be full of blooms. So as we come along, a couple of planters that we added this season. We already had just kind of the back wall of planters, and this year we decided to go along the sides and add those in. And what we did, just kind of for symmetry, is the first planter on each side, we simply added in some potato vine. We went with a different variety this year than we did last year. You can see kind of the shape of this leaf is a little more unique than a traditional potato vine. This is a bright light green potato vine that we have here. Along the back side of all the planters, we have teddy bear dwarf sunflowers. So I forgot how tall they should grow, but they will kind of stay fairly low.
Yeah, 24 to 30 inches. I think that they grow.
Yeah, so they won't get as big. And those of you who kind of have seen some of the sunflowers that we grew last year, those got well over 10 to 12 feet tall in our front flower garden. So definitely not looking for that to happen here.
You can see why they're different size.
As you come along, petunias that we have that are really starting to fill out here, and especially in this particular smaller box, you can see some of the dwarf sunflowers that are really starting to leaf out nicely. And we had to replant some of them, which is why you will see the variation in sizes of them. Some of them didn't take. You know, that's just all part of gardening. It's about patience, it's about trial and error. So we had to go back in, but we're sure that once the warmer days come, that sun, and of course we have a week full of rain coming next week, will just help everything to really beef up. So all the planters are pretty much the same. Try to kind of mirror image some of the colors on opposite ends of the railing here. And then our center box, which has more of that potato vine, and then you see just kind of different sizes of the sunflowers based on us having to replant some of them here in the planter box. In the base of the Japanese maples, last year we actually planted some echinacea, and those, some have come back. We planted some in all four corners of the planters, but they haven't returned as heartily as we had hoped. But we'll see. Maybe we'll just leave those alone this season, and next season perhaps do something a little bit different. One more planter down here. Last year in this planter we had potato vine, and was it
Dusty Rusty.
and some dusty rusty coleus as well too. That potato vine loved this container last year and just spilled over and onto the deck floor. And this year we have gazanias planted around the perimeter.
You had something before that?
Yeah, and then on the inside, these four are marigolds, which hopefully will help to keep bugs away as well too, as we're kind of out here enjoying the deck during the summer. And you can see that before that we had in here some daffodils, and then also some just daffodils. I think might have had hyacinth in some of the other planters. But when you cut back your flowers that bloom earlier in the season, like daffodils and hyacinth, you want to make sure that you leave enough of that foliage exposed so that the bulbs down under can continue to soak up sunlight, water, and nutrients to put on a great show for you for next year. So Dragon just wants to kind of pan around and give you one last great view of the deck. And as he does that, one more thing here that is a part of the deck scape right now that I didn't get a chance to mention is the centerpiece on our table, which is a black calla lily. And we have some calla lilies planted in planters on our front porch that are just starting to peek out, but we do have one of those, and this one we bought already up. The other ones we planted from bulbs, so hoping that they are able to mature and get enough height on them this season. But again, all about trying things that you like, making sure that they work well in the zone that you're in, and going from there and enjoying it. So wanted to give a shout out again to all of you who've been supporting us so far. We thank you guys so much, and we'll see you in the next video.